Why do Singaporeans expect excellence in almost everything from food to safety to customer service, while other nations call the same level too strict or too demanding? Welcome back to Infosphere, the home of deep-dive global documentaries. Today we're exploring one of the most fascinating mysteries in Asia. Why Singaporeans have such incredibly high standards in 2025. Singapore is a tiny island, but its people think big, aim high, and accept nothing less than precision. Whether you look at how they study, how they maintain public spaces, how they manage money, or how they evaluate food, even small mistakes stand out. But how did this mindset become a national identity? What makes Singaporeans operate with the expectations of a world-class city every single day? And why do these standards keep rising year after year? Let's dive into the remarkable psychology, culture, and history behind the Singaporean pursuit of perfection. Don't forget to subscribe to Infosphere for more powerful stories from around the world. A culture built on survival and discipline. Singapore didn't choose high standards. High standards were required for survival. When Singapore separated from Malaysia in the mid-1960s, it was a small island with almost no natural resources, very little industry, and extremely limited land. The population was growing rapidly, unemployment was high, and the future looked uncertain. The only path forward was to create a society that could outthink, outwork, and outperform much larger countries. The government implemented strict rules, long-term planning, and disciplined governance. Singaporeans grew up in an environment where excellence was the expected baseline. This mindset became a cultural foundation. Children were taught from a young age that success is not optional, it is necessary. Schools were structured with rigorous standards, meritocracy became a core value, and public behavior followed strict guidelines. Over time, what started as survival strategy transformed into a national identity. In 2025, Singaporeans still live with this deep awareness that the country's success is fragile. They understand that one mistake or one generation of complacency could lower the nation's global standing. Because of this, they continue to push themselves harder than many societies. And in a world where competition increases every single year, Singaporeans maintain high standards because they believe it is the only way to protect what they built. Education built for excellence, not average. One of the biggest reasons Singaporeans have extremely high standards is the country's education system. It is known around the world for being one of the toughest. Students go through years of competitive exams, strict grading, and heavy expectations. But what's most interesting is the culture surrounding it. Parents treat education as the most important investment in life. Students don't settle for good enough. They aim for the top, because the system teaches them that excellence is a habit, not a goal. In Singapore, children are taught that details matter. A single mark, a single question, a single mistake can change opportunities. This creates a mindset where precision is normal. Even after finishing school, this mentality carries into adulthood. Workers expect high performance from themselves and from others. Companies demand efficiency, customers expect professionalism, and society rewards competence. While many countries soften their systems to reduce pressure, Singapore continues to believe in meritocracy. In 2025, parents still send their children to tuition centers, enrichment programs, and weekend classes because they believe that being average is not enough in a competitive world. The result? A population that sees high standards not as pressure, but as a lifestyle. They don't just want things to be done, they want things done properly, on time, and at world-class levels. National pride and identity shaped by cleanliness and order. Singapore's reputation for strict cleanliness is legendary, but this is more than just a government rule. It is a reflection of national identity. For decades, Singaporeans believed that a clean and orderly environment represents responsibility respect, and pride. This mindset started with strict laws, fines for littering, bans on chewing gum, rules for public behavior, and strong enforcement. But over time, these rules shaped public expectations. Singaporeans associate disorder with failure. They believe that a messy environment reflects a messy society. Therefore, cleanliness became a symbol of Singaporean excellence. People follow the rules without question because they genuinely want to maintain the image and reputation of their country. In 2025, new generations continue this tradition. Whether they are cleaning after themselves in food courts, respecting queues at MRT stations, or reporting broken public facilities, Singaporeans see orderliness as a shared responsibility. It's not about fear of fines anymore, it's about pride. This sense of order also influences other parts of life. It affects how they judge restaurants, how they evaluate service, how they manage time, and how they behave in public. The culture of order naturally raises expectations across the board, creating a society where high standards feel normal. A world-class government that citizens expect to match. Singaporeans demand high standards from their leaders, and in return the government maintains one of the most efficient systems on earth. Government services in Singapore are designed to be fast, transparent, and user-friendly. Whether it's renewing a passport, paying taxes, applying for housing, or using public transport, the experience is smooth and professional. Most tasks take minutes rather than hours. Because of this, Singaporeans begin to expect the same quality everywhere. Schools, hospitals, banks, retail shops, restaurants, and companies. When government systems operate at world-class levels, people start comparing everything else to that benchmark. In 2025, trust in public institutions remains extremely high, one of the highest in the world. Citizens know that their taxes are used efficiently. They see results, and because the government works efficiently, people feel that everyone else should too. This expectation spills into all aspects of life, shaping everything from customer service to workplace performance. While other countries struggle with corruption, slow bureaucracy, and poor planning, Singaporeans are used to efficiency. Anything less feels unacceptable. Their high standards are not unrealistic. They are based on real experiences. A high-income, high-expectations society. Singapore is one of the richest nations in the world. When income levels rise, expectations rise with them. People expect high-quality services, clean public spaces, safe environments, and excellent infrastructure. But Singaporeans take this further. They don't just expect quality, they demand consistency. In 2025, Singaporeans are willing to pay more for better experiences. They choose premium brands, clean restaurants, well-maintained facilities, and efficient services. This consumer behavior forces businesses to raise their standards. A restaurant that would be considered good in another country might receive complaints in Singapore if the food is not fresh, the service is slow, or the environment is not spotless. High cost of living is also part of this mindset. If people are paying high prices, they expect high value. This shapes a culture where mediocrity has no place. Only quality survives. Singaporeans also compare themselves with global cities like Tokyo, Zurich, Seoul, and Dubai. This international perspective constantly pushes them to evaluate whether the country is improving. They believe that if Singapore wants to remain competitive, its standards must be among the best in the world. A small country that thinks like a global power. Singapore is geographically tiny, but mentally huge. Singaporeans grow up knowing that they represent a nation watched by the world. Every achievement is magnified. Every failure feels large. Because of this, Singaporeans feel a collective responsibility to uphold a certain image. The mindset is simple: To remain relevant globally, Singapore must always be exceptional. Being average is not enough. Being good is not enough. The country must be excellent consistently. This belief drives Singaporeans to constantly compare themselves with top-tier countries. In 2025, Singapore's influence in technology, finance, aviation, healthcare, and global trade continues to grow. Citizens feel proud of this status, and they want to maintain it. High standards are not just for personal benefit, they are part of maintaining Singapore's global reputation. Singaporeans know that the world looks to them as an example of efficiency, order, innovation, and quality. This awareness reinforces their commitment to excellence in everything they do. Singaporeans have high standards because their history demanded it. Their culture reinforced it, and their success depends on it. From schools to government to daily habits, excellence became part of their identity. In a world that often accepts good enough, Singapore stands out by insisting on world class. If you learned something new today, make sure to subscribe to Infosphere for more deep insights into global societies. Together, let's explore how nations rise, evolve, and inspire the world. Here you go. Fully optimized YouTube package for your video Why Singaporeans Have Such High Standards in 2025 with numeric digits, decorated description, keywords, hashtags, long tags, and powerful thumbnail question words.